Hey everyone, Michelle Frary here, Member of Parliament for Peterborough, Kawartha, and I just finished volunteering and helping with the Salvation Army. So the Salvation Army has a breakfast program Monday to Friday on Elmer Street across from the Peterborough Public Library, and it's served from 9 to 10 a.m. This morning, it was Thursday, they do like a continental bag breakfast, so you get, juice box, some jam, a bun, applesauce, 2 cheese sticks, and you get a coffee and a water bottle. And we served 89 people. The average used to be around 60. It's just going up and up and up. They're serving upwards of 96 people every morning. And the people that came through were, very grateful. But a couple gentlemen came through and they said, yeah, thanks for breakfast. Now I'm going to go and gossip about who overdosed last night. And that's the reality of where we're at. It's not if you're going to overdose, it's when you're going to overdose. And, I've referenced a couple times in the last few posts I've done on sort of our mental health, addictions, and homelessness crisis about the movie Painkillers. And if you haven't watched this movie, it's much like Dopesick. It's on Netflix. And it's a real story of what happens when you flood the market with drugs. And drugs is a massive, massive problem in this country. And repeat offenders getting back out on bail. And there's a very big difference between a drug trafficker and a drug user. And we need to go after drug traffickers. And some of those drug traffickers are pharmaceutical companies. The other really sad thing that came up today when I was dealing with the volunteers, so just also Salvation Army is always looking for volunteers, especially for their upcoming kettle program that they do over the Christmas holidays. They need volunteers, so please, if you can help them, reach out to their volunteer coordinator, Brian. They desperately need the volunteers and to help. They serve so many people in the community, and they work with all organizations across all boards in Peterborough and obviously nationally, but here in Peterborough. But the sad thing was they have a food bank here. And so they have seen massive increases, obviously, in people using the food bank. And the number one area demographic that they've seen an increase in is international students. That's really sad. And I hear this from new Canadians every single day. Trudeau promised us the moon, the stars, and the sun. Come to Canada, we'll give you all you want. We'll take care of you. They're sleeping in their car. They're using food banks. They can't eat. Some of them are not the students, but new Canadians are doctors. They can't practice because of the restrictions. It's bonkers, right? It reminds me of the fairy tale Hansel and Gretel. Justin Trudeau being the evil witch in the candy house. Come on in. I'll help you. I'll give you whatever you want. People wouldn't have come here if they thought that. It's a sad, sad state of affairs across the country, coast to coast to coast. And that's why it's so important when I travel and I meet with other people in other areas. What can I bring back here to Peterborough to help improve our situation? What can we be doing? There are people doing programs that do work. There are people out there that have workable models, right? Sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel. But the undercurrent of all of this, without a doubt, is the cost of living, the housing crisis. And you now have a housing minister who is blaming international students on the housing crisis. Guess what the new housing minister was before he was the housing minister? The immigration minister. You have a finance minister who said, yeah, we're gonna bring down the deficit. We're gonna balance the budget. No, you're not. That's not even in sight. Housing we thought had doubled. No, it's $3,000 now on average. And here's the other thing people keep telling me. So many social programs, so many not-for-profits and charities rely on donors, right? They rely on business people. They rely on the community to give, to donate, to support them. they can't. They can't because they don't have any money, because of the cost of living, because of the cost of food, because of the cost of housing, because of the cost of gas, right? The most compassionate, pragmatic, common sense thing you can do in this mental health crisis is make life affordable. The businesses who donate can donate. People are like, and I'm seeing it on the front line of social services. I went to victim services yesterday in OPP, so Peterborough County. These people are doing life-changing work. Peterborough has the third highest rate of human trafficking in Canada. Okay, they serve 2,000 people a year. So victim services, if you haven't used them, good for you. That means you haven't been a victim of crime. But you have a system that is set up to reward criminals instead of helping victims and survivors. And these frontline staff are burnt out, right? They have vicarious trauma because they have to go home and take care of their kids and try to figure out how to pay the bills. And what do you think is happening to the family as a result of that? What do you think is happening to our kids? Right? So you want to fix this? Everybody says, what are conservatives going to do? What's your solution? It is so simple. Get a prime minister who cares about fiscal policy. Get a prime minister who understands to make life affordable. Get a prime minister who understands the economic basics. Don't spend more than you make and don't waste money on bureaucracy and administrative costs that don't help people. Get a prime minister that when he holds a cabinet minister meeting, they actually talk about the biggest issue, housing, and fix it. Like, this is leadership 101. And you know, somebody said to me, they said, oh, well, it's happening all over the world. Oh, so that makes it okay that Canada can't manage it? We have like the worst mortgage rates. It's bonkers to me what is happening and how people are like, well, I'm only gonna vote Liberal because. Listen, now is the time to question why. Throw out your party loyalty and look at common sense. Every single day I talk to people who are like, I was Liberal, I had to leave, the Liberal Party left me, I didn't leave it. The only way out of this is to get a new leader. Okay, everything has an expiration date, and Justin Trudeau is so expired. He is not helping this country, he is hurting it. And I love to think that, you know, MPs get into this job to help people. But if you are not on the ground listening to people and seeing their suffering, you are not going to be doing things to fix this. This is real. This is raw. Like, this is middle class people, right? Suffering. People can't navigate the system because there's too much bureaucracy, and people cannot afford to pay their rents. And so the next question I get, people will say, well, how do we get an election? You got to get Mr. Jagmeet Singh to put his money where his mouth is and say, if you care for the people, stop pandering to the Prime Minister. Thanks for listening. You know what? If you can help out, if you can give back, it is really needed right now. So if you're local and you can help out with the Salvation Army, please do so. They need volunteers coming up. Thank you to the people on the ground and the organizations that are making connections, that are helping people, that are working to improve the lives of others. And thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.